Hello and welcome back to Two Brunettes in Baltimore.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Tarah.
Welcome back for another video / podcast.
Woo!
Woo! Week 3. We hope you guys are enjoying our podcast so far.
We're loving it.
We're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Should we start with updates again from our week?
Yes.
Kind of a week.
I know. It's been, I think we recorded on Friday last week and now it's Tuesday. So it's been like half of a week, but
yeah, not a full week.
I feel like you've done a bunch.
I know a lot has happened in the past few days for me.
Yeah. You went home.
I did go home. I went to New Jersey on Sunday and I came back today. It was really fun. I got to go to this like bridal brunch for my soon-to-be sister-in-law and it was super fun. It was a little vegan place. It's near like Rutgers University. If anyone wants to check it out, it's called Veganized. It was so good.
What'd you get?
We got a bunch of appetizers to start. We got these like beet ravioli things.
Oh my gosh.
That it didn't have like pasta as a ravioli like outside. It was like beets, and then in the inside it was like this cheese, but it was like vegan. So it was cashew cheese.
Oh, that's so
It was so good. And then we got this like sort of Mexican appetizer. It had like guacamole, like corn, beans, and those came with like tortilla chips. And then we went all out because this is like, you know, for the wedding that's in a couple weeks, and we were having a lot of fun there and everything. But my mom and I got what did we get? We got this mac and cheese that was like mac and cheese, like it's not real cheese again. It was like that cashew like cream kind of cheese. Yeah, delicious. And then we also got this like falafel wrap that was like amazing. My mom and I like falafels. We like to split like two things to try things. It was really good. And Kayla's vegan, so that's why we wanted to like try that place. Nice. But it was really cute inside too.
How many people were there?
There were only like, let's see, there were 6 of us.
Okay.
So it was, it was small and fun. Like I had a great time, and Kayla, we were so happy for her because she got all like emotional. She said, "Oh my gosh!" She said when she was driving there, she started like tearing up because she was thinking about just the wedding and the baby and everything coming up. But
oh my gosh, that's so exciting!
And it was beautiful in the restaurant too. It was all like stained glass and everything. And I want to
check it out.
It was so cute and like delicious, and like you would never think everything was vegan there too. And their drinks were really good. We got cocktails. She got like a mocktail. But it was fun. Nice. Yeah,
that's super fun.
So that was Sunday, and then kind of just hung out with my family yesterday and today before I left. But I have to update you guys on the audition.
Yes.
So Saturday I went to the Ravens audition.
Wait, I think you need to start that day out from the very beginning.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like, so waking up.
Let's see. I got up at like 5:30, so I had a lot of time. I'm like doing really well on time. Like my roommate Grace, she was up like around like 7 something. It was just like nice to have someone around while I was like getting ready and just to feel like supported before I go into this big thing. And I'm all ready. I'm all packed. I go outside and my car is missing. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm literally losing it or like I'm so nervous that I literally like can't see it. But I looked everywhere. I'm walking like back and forth in my garage and I'm like, where is my car? So I called Grace and I'm like, can you come outside? Like, I don't know if I'm going crazy, but I cannot find my car. And she comes outside and she's like, she can't find it either. So luckily, like, she was there and she was like, just take my car. So I took her car that day. So now I'm like driving to this audition. No idea what happened to my car. Like, I have to get to this audition, trying to also like be like, I mean, I'm careful while I drive, but like 10 times more careful because I'm in someone else's car. Like, it was just crazy. But anyways, I found out my car was towed. My apartment building's having a lot of problems with this because I guess when people are moving in, they're not giving us these like stickers you need on your windshield. Never knew this. I've been living there for like 8 months or so.
Wait, but do you have to, you know how in mine, like you have to scan in? Do you have to do the same?
You have to scan in to get up.
So like, what is the...
So, right. So like, I thought I was like, that's like our permit to be here because we're scanning in. So obviously, like, we're paying rent and we're paying for the parking. Like,
yeah.
But I didn't know there was this like sticker for like months until right now. So then basically like had to get my car like later in the day, and it was a whole thing. But my apartment building, since we explained like we were never given a sticker, they're covering our parking. It's going to be free for like a few months.
That's
to
nice.
Make up for the charges of the towing company, because I had to pay like $350.
And in cash. Did you have to go to an
cash.
ATM?
Yeah, I went to the ATM near my apartment, but I was like, why is it cash? Like, it's like sus. Like, I'm like, that's so weird. But yeah, and then I finally got my car back, but I got the pass today when I came back too, which is good. So we won't have that problem again. But it was crazy. It was like that would start the day. But anyways, I digress.
I digress.
But basically, I drive to this audition trying to like not be stressed about my car and everything, and then get there. Registration started at like 9 a.m. And then by like 9:30, 9:45, we were like stretching, warming up, everything. And it was a whole like day. Like, it was like long.
I know. I was expecting updates over text, and I got nothing.
It was like super like not even just like physically exhausting. I feel like it was like just like mentally exhausting too, but in a fun way. Like, I had a lot of fun. But basically like we stretched in the beginning, and then it was lots of like technique. Like the stunt team, people trying out for the stunt team like went in a separate area, and then we stayed on one side, and the dancers just did like across the floor. We did lots.
What did you guys have to do?
We did like kicks. We started with kicks, then we went to like leaps, side leaps, like axles, like renverses, like all of those. Turns. We did turns and everything. And like that wasn't technically the tryout. Like they're not like judging at that part, but like they're watching everybody and stuff.
Like, if you can't jump, they're not going to take you. You have to jump.
Yeah. And like, I mean, they say like you don't have to like, you know, like they are like, oh, we just want it to be clean. So if all you can do is a single, then that's fine. But I'm like, I mean, they obviously want people that like have like a higher skill level probably. So they're just kind of looking at that in the beginning. And then we kind of like split up. Well, then we got like water for like a tiny bit. We got like random water breaks here and there. But then we like learned the rest of the combination. So we learned like the first half at that clinic in January. Which
if you didn't go to the clinic, did you have to learn it there?
Yeah. So they retaught it like for those people, but it was definitely helpful. Yeah. It like you felt like you were already comfortable with that first 2 8 counts. And then they taught another 2 8 counts, and they did change a little bit from what they taught us. So like after drilling the 2 8 counts for like months, it was kind of weird to like switch a couple things, but it was very slight like differences. And then basically after we learned it, we were just drilling it for like forever. We had some time to like go over our skills, practice our special skill that you picked.
Oh, what did you pick?
And I picked, so originally I wasn't even going to do this. And then like a couple weeks before I like changed my skill because I wanted it to be like better. I don't know. I felt like it wasn't like that good. So I did 2 fouette turns into like I think I did 2 into like a single or a double, and then a firebird leap or a firebird jump out of the turn to have like turns and a jump. Yeah. So there's like 2 things I'm showcasing at the same time. But yeah, they were like, you don't even have to do like 2 things. Like they were like, you can do like a single turn if you want, like as long as it's clean. But yeah, basically they just didn't want it to be like too long. Like, but yeah, and then after that, it was just like hours and hours of people going and you waiting and just you having to go through it. Yeah. But it was just like hard to like keep going through it for hours and staying warm and making sure like you don't like cool down too much, but also you take enough breaks where you're not like physically like drained by the time you audition. But I think it started at 9, and we like, I think the actual auditions of people going in the audition room and like doing it in front of the judges, that started around like 11:45. Okay. But I went around like 2 p.m.
That's a long time.
Like hours.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like hard because it was like you were like mentally nervous too, and like there was just like a lot, but everyone was really nice, and
that's
like
good.
all the cheerleaders from last season were helpful.
Okay.
And they started trying out. They didn't have to try out the first day, but then the second day is when like they start retrying out. But yeah, it was crazy. And then I went, and there were like 15 judges. They said there were going to be like 12. Yeah, they were like, there's going to be 12. And then
did they like introduce themselves? Who are they?
Not, they really didn't. We already knew who like the owner of the whole franchise is. She was in there. And then like one of the dance coaches was in there, so like we knew some of the faces.
Okay.
But then there were some other people, and I honestly didn't know, like we never knew who they were. But it was like a whole like 2 rows of judges.
Oh my gosh.
On this like elevated surface, and you're right in front of them, and you go in groups of 4, and you all do the routine together, and then one by one you do your toe touch and your skill. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So at least the routine, like you do all together, like that's like helpful, but it was just like
how was
very
your group?
Nerve-wracking. They were nice. Like everyone was like we were doing like a whole like put it in, and like we were like counting down, and like everyone in my group was super supportive and like funny, so it helped a little bit. But yeah, it was crazy. And then basically I'm trying to think. Yeah, so that was at like 2:00, and then it was like 5 p.m. by the time they came out with the results from that day. So it was like 3 hours after that of just insane. Like sitting and like going over how you did in your head. But basically, yeah. And then at like 5:00, they came out with this like list of numbers, and then they just read off each number. And I'm telling you, like, they must have read like 50 numbers, like, because
oh my gosh,
it wasn't like, it was a long list, but it wasn't like super long.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, because there were like either this girl I met thought there were like 230 people, but I heard 213. I don't know which one it was, but there was
close either way.
Yeah, over 200 people that went, and they must have called back like 50.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was cut.
Crazy.
Yeah. Fast forward to that. I ended up being cut, but it's okay.
So unfortunate, but
I know. Okay. It's okay, because I think, they say like no one really ever makes it on their first year.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't say that, but like I've heard that.
Also, they're not like, the veterans are still, they still have to try out, but like,
yeah,
most likely are gonna still make it.
Yeah. Like usually I feel like most veterans probably make it again. But yeah, it was crazy. Like, I think, they must have cut over like maybe around like 150 to 180 people.
That's insane.
But it was still a really good experience. I'm like so glad I did it, because it was my first like professional dance audition, and it was like good to have that experience. And I'm going back next year for sure. So now I know, like, and I'll feel more prepared. Yeah. So
that's awesome. I can't believe how many girls showed up. And guys.
Yeah.
Were there a ton of guys too?
There were a ton of guys for the stunt team.
Okay.
And then one guy tried out for the dance team. Yeah, one guy. But it was crazy. It was crowded, but
I'm sure
everyone was very supportive.
I was looking at the Instagram
stories.
I was like, oh my gosh, where is she? But
yeah. But it was a lot of fun, and like I'm excited to go back next year and just feel more prepared too, and know kind of what it's like and everything. So yeah, that was an experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
I'm happy you went.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I really thought you were going to get it, but at the same time, after I heard the numbers, I was like, oh my gosh.
And like a lot of like, they think the head coach, like, or one of the coaches, tried out for like 4 or 5 years before she made it.
Wow.
So like, I think, they like to see people that come back too, and it shows that you're like motivated and everything,
and you actually want to be on the team. You're not just doing it to be like,
exactly,
oh, I got it, like I'm on the
and I know I'll still be in Baltimore next year, so like I'll do it next year too.
That's so fun.
But yeah, that was like, that was a lot of my weekend, just that, and then going home. to Jersey to visit family and go to that bridal brunch. But that was pretty much my recap. What about you?
That's fun. Saturday morning started off with work, and then
I can't believe you worked Saturday.
I know.
Are you working every Saturday with busy season?
It depends on how much work I get. But
okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Most Saturdays.
So Saturday morning I had work, and I worked from like 8ish until 1, and then I went out with some friends, and Canton was having like their St. Patrick's Day like bar crawl. So everybody was out during the day, which was super fun. Like it was pretty crowded too, just fun to like see a lot of people. Oh my god, look at the moon.
The moon. Oh my god, is it a full moon?
Yeah, I think so.
Guys, it's a full moon. Wait, you can see it so clearly.
Yeah, it looks so cool in the skyline.
Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so I just went out Saturday after work. The bar crawl was fun. I didn't like participate in the bar crawl. I just like, because you know how you have to like buy the tickets and everything.
Yeah.
But we started out at Clauda's. Oh my god, you haven't gone out in Canton. Okay.
Wait, we need to.
We started out at Clauda's and then went to Buff, and then after El Buffalo, we took an Uber over to Fells and went to Admiral's Cup and Prima, and then we came back to Buff.
Stop.
And I was out like all day.
Yeah. When did you start? Like,
I think we got there at like 3.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was out all night. I don't know what I was on, but God. I was like having a marathon that day.
She was texting me like, come out.
I know.
And I was like, it was right after the audition. I was so tired. I was like, I'm so dead.
Yeah, I wish you did. I wanted you to come out so badly.
And then I had to pick up my car. So it was just like
just
a whole
not going to happen. And then Sunday, I think I just chilled Sunday. Oh, I went on a walk on Sunday. It was so nice out. And then in the afternoon and evening, I did more work. Yeah. So like nothing good, nothing like crazy good going on. But it was nice to like go out and have the break from work.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I don't know. Since then, yesterday I just worked, and today I worked, and here we are. But it was like so nice to go out, and then so nice to go on the walk. Yeah, little things, you know.
That's good.
But yeah.
Did you see people you know when you were out, like people from like college and stuff?
No. I saw somebody with the Loyola sweatshirt on, but I didn't even bother saying hi.
Yeah.
He looked preoccupied. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, it is what it is. But I saw a ton of people that I knew or like, you know, had met before. Nice. So that was really fun.
That's so fun.
What else? I think that's really it. Work is picking up. Like, there's so much work to do.
I feel like you're constantly working.
Yeah.
And then it's like we're doing this like right after you have work. I feel so bad.
And then after this, I'm going to keep working.
I know.
But it's really not that bad. It's only lasts for a little bit. So once busy season's over, we'll be good. But it is exhausting. Good. Like, I don't know. I'm just like ready for summer.
I know.
Daylight savings is nice.
Daylight savings is on Sunday.
It's on Sunday, but like I just can't wait for the warm weather and like being able to be outside more often.
I know. Like today it was sunny, but it was like cold
and windy.
Like I was gonna go on a walk when I got back from Jersey because I got back around like 12:30, so it wasn't even that late in the day. And I was gonna like walk like kind of from like my apartment and just go kind of near the water and everything. But then it was like windy and I was like, not today.
Yeah. But I don't know why it got so windy.
It was crazy. Like, she said her car was like moving.
Yeah.
Mine was moving when I was driving.
Oh my God. I hate when that happens.
I felt like it was like moving me and trying to move me into the other lanes.
No, I hate that.
Yeah.
That's the worst. I remember when I was driving in Utah once, it was like empty for so long.
Oh my God.
The mountains were so far away. I felt like we were in like a desert.
Oh my God.
But it was so windy and the car just kept, thank God there were no other cars on the road.
Oh my God.
The car would keep going over the lane. I was like, oh my God.
That's so scary.
This is so bad.
Oh my God.
I thought there was something wrong with the car, but I was like, I think it's just the wind.
Yeah. That's crazy. I can't believe like wind can actually just like move a car.
Yeah.
Also, it didn't snow here, right?
No, it snowed last night. Oh wait, well you were in Jersey.
Well, it snowed in Jersey, and I didn't even know. It must have started snowing really late because I wake up and I'm like about to pack to come back here, and I look outside and it's all white, and I'm like, when did it snow?
Yeah, yeah.
My dad was laughing because I was like, when did the snow come?
Because my mom sent me a picture out our window this morning, and I was like, snow?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. And then I was asking my friend in Connecticut, and she said it didn't snow for her.
Oh.
I was like, why did we get hit with snow?
I know.
It was only a little bit though, right?
Yeah, tiny bit. But I did have to like clean off my car and stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy. I wonder if it'll snow here again.
I know.
It only snowed a little bit a couple times.
I honestly I like snow when you're like cozied up inside.
Yeah.
But I kind of hope it's done. Like,
I hope it's done, and I hope that it's just going to get warmer.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm just ready for summer.
I know.
Just skip spring.
Yes. Like, I need it to be hot.
I know.
I don't know. I can't wait. But
do you want to say, so, we're doing that segment now with our highs and lows.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to go over your high and low of the week?
Sure.
Do you have a low this week?
No. Okay. I guess we could say low is that work has been crazy, and I'm just ready for it to be over so I can live a normal life again, and focus on me. Can I make my high something later this week?
Yeah, that's kind of what I did last week.
Okay, true. My high is that my older brother is coming home from New Orleans.
That's so exciting.
I know. So he comes home. It's a really short trip because he's going to be here from Friday night until Sunday evening.
Okay.
So I'm so excited to see him. It's been it's been a few months since we went to Park City in January.
Do you guys have anything planned for this weekend?
Nothing crazy. We're all going to go out, me, him, and my parents to late lunch on Sunday before he goes to the airport. Nice. So that'll be super fun. We haven't been going out to eat as a family in a while, so I'm really excited.
Wait, that's going to be so fun.
And then, I think that's it. We're just going to chill.
Yeah. That'll be really nice, though, to hang out with everybody and see him.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then this is not part of this week, but then in 2 weeks, my younger brother comes home.
Yeah.
So, that'll be so fun just to see them
nice.
both. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, share time with both of them. I don't have to be the middle child, center of attention act. It just gets to be me and them.
Yeah.
So it'll be super fun. Yeah.
That'll be fun. They have to come here soon.
I know. Well, I think Matt is going to take his flight home from San Diego to Baltimore.
Oh.
I don't know why he said that. I forget. I think, the flight times were better.
Okay.
And then I'll just have to drive him home. But I was like, oh, you want to stay for a couple of days? He's like, what are we going to do? I'm like, go out?
Go out.
He's like,
obviously.
Sure, maybe for a day. I was like, okay, sounds good. And I'm the one who has the car that's going to take you. I'll hide the keys.
True. You're not wrong.
Yeah. That'll be good. What were your highs and lows?
Let's see. I guess my low was probably my car being towed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just because it was such an inconvenience.
I don't know what I would do.
I'm glad we're getting refunded, or whatever. They're putting it credited towards our parking and stuff. And now, the money isn't the issue, but just the inconvenience of big stress. And I'm like, was it stolen? I thought it was stolen. My parents, since I was driving and going to this audition, they called the police.
Oh my god.
But then they were the Baltimore police has a lot more other things to deal with. But yeah, probably that.
How did you find out that it was towed? Did you call the apartment building?
Yeah, the apartment building told us it was towed. And then I guess this has been happening because then the next day they towed my roommate's car.
I can't believe they towed her car too.
We were like, what are the chances it's our cars? Because there are other cars without that sticker. I can see. And I'm like, what? Why us?
Back to back.
I was like, why?
And on 2 different days, they could have just taken 2 at once.
I know. I'm like, what? When are they doing this?
Yeah.
I don't even know. But
in the middle of the night? It must have been.
It must be. I don't know, because I hadn't gone to my car Friday. I went to my car Thursday. I came here to and went to get the pictures for the audition.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, so then I guess I didn't go out to see if my car was there on Friday because I don't usually worry about it being there or not. But I I guess that was my low, just like dealing with all of that. And
did they give you the sticker?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But they, they were taking a little bit to answer our emails because it was the weekend. But like, it's okay because I was in Jersey anyways, so I wasn't worried about my car since I had it there. But yeah, that was probably my low. And then I guess my high was just seeing my family.
Yeah.
And seeing Willow, my dog.
Wait, did you get to see Evan?
No, I didn't. I'm like, did I? No. I saw Kayla because of the brunch, but no, I never saw Evan.
Oh.
And today my mom saw Evan today and she said that he was asking about the podcast. And did you listen to the second one? But yeah, I never saw him.
Wait, and you got to watch the podcast with your family.
I did, guys.
I'm so jealous.
We uploaded it Sunday, or wait, I keep thinking it's Monday, 2 days ago on Sunday. And I was home in Jersey and they were like, we need to all watch it together. I was like, okay. But I was nervous because I forgot what we even like talked about, honestly. I know. But it was really fun and they were laughing a lot.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
I feel like it's funnier for our families to watch because they're kind of getting in on some of these stories that maybe we haven't told them.
I was thinking the same thing. And like, I feel like I know what they'll find funny too. Yeah. So as I'm watching it, I'm like looking at them, like waiting to see their reaction.
That is so funny. I think that's hysterical.
I know. But yeah, I guess that was my high. But yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of
fun. We're going to have a lot of family time.
I know.
Like, we're both home the same weekend. Like, we're going to have some good things to talk about.
Maybe we'll have to do something when we're at home.
Yeah.
Like go to Princeton or something. We should. Go to Dinky Bar.
Yeah. Oh, yes, please. I love that place.
I know. It's so cute.
I want to hear a little bit about a day in the life of a nurse.
Okay. So we're thinking of talking about our like job day in the life for this episode. So I guess I'll start with just like getting up. Yeah. I'll start with that. This will be good to think about. I don't know. I work for the next 3 days, so I'll be doing this exact thing.
She's working for 3 days, all day shifts though. Which I feel like is good.
It's good. Like I don't, nights are nice because they're like a little calmer sometimes. Like they can be crazy, but days are like just nice because of the schedule. It's just so much better. But I guess I'll go over like a day shift day in the life, a little more normal than night shift. So I usually wake up at like my alarm goes off around like 5:15, like 5.
What time do you go to sleep at then?
Let's backtrack a little. So
if you're waking up at 5:15,
I try, and so if this like realistically, like when you're working days in a row, like the in between the days, it's harder to go to bed early because you're getting home late from work, eating dinner late and whatever. But like if it's my first one on, like tonight, I'll probably try and be in bed and like watching TV or like whatever, doing something in bed by like 9, and then I try and sleep by 9:30, but it's really hard sometimes. But like 9:30 is like my goal of sleeping by. But sometimes I fall asleep at like 10, 10:30 sometimes.
What are you gonna do?
But yeah, like 9:30, my alarm will go off at like 5:15. Probably usually snooze for a while. If I'm feeling crazy, I'll get up at like 5 and actually put on like some mascara and like whatever. But like I have a mask on all day, so it's like I usually don't put on much makeup. And then I get up. I usually get ready first. I kind of just like put on my scrubs.
Oh my gosh, I forgot you have to wear scrubs. That is so funny.
It's so comfy.
I've never seen you in scrubs.
That's so weird because I feel like I'm always in scrubs and I'm always doing laundry. That's the one thing about nursing. It's like I feel like I'm constantly like I have a lot of scrubs, but I feel like I just need more. Yeah. But I usually wear like a long sleeve under them because I'll get cold sometimes in the hospital.
Are you allowed to wear like if you like that zip up or no?
I'll wear like a zip up like this during night shift.
Okay.
But day shift when like management's there, like you really shouldn't. Yeah. I have like a navy jacket though. Okay. That I wear for like day shift and stuff. But yeah, put on my scrubs. I'll like, you know, get ready in the bathroom, wash my face, brush my teeth. Like I'll shower after my shifts because you get like gross.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Then I usually don't like pack any like lunch the night before just because I will if I'm having like a productive meal prepping kind of week, but I'll usually just like pack a lunch in the morning. I try and, you know, incorporate like a good amount of stuff because the 12-hour shifts, you're there like all day.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like you don't even get time to eat
Yeah.
much. I don't know. We'll get into that though. But like, yeah, usually I'll try and pack like a salad. Like I usually do like a salad with like a veggie burger in it or a turkey burger or some sort of proteins that I feel like energized during the day. Or like if I'm like rushing, I'll do like a frozen like Trader Joe's meal or something.
Yeah.
Like if I have no time. And then I usually, this is so bad, I should probably like eat a better breakfast, but because I don't want to get up earlier, I usually will eat like a protein bar on my way, which is like enough to hold me over for like the morning. And then I make my coffee. I always do. Like, I know you don't like coffee.
I know. It's so funny.
It's foreign to you, but I always do like iced coffee because if you make hot coffee, I've learned, then it just like sits there while you get busy in the beginning of your shift.
Oh, yeah.
And then by the time I'm like ready to like drink the rest of it, it's like cold.
Yeah.
So I usually will make iced coffee and then, yeah, I'll drive to work. It's like not too far. It only takes me like 13
Oh, that's not too bad.
specific, but like 10 to 15 minutes. And I'll park. This is so specific, but I'm just giving you guys this rundown.
Details.
I try and walk in by like 6:35.
Okay.
Specific, but I have like a whole reason, you know.
Yeah.
What's the word? I do this for a reason. So basically I get in the hospital usually like 6:40 around that time, and then I'll go put my stuff in my locker. I like to get there around that time because I'm like, you know, in my first, you know, how long has it been since I started? I started in August, so a little over 6 months it's been. So I'm still pretty like new to nursing, so I like to get there early and like kind of know what's going on with my patients a little bit before 7 o'clock, just so that I'm not like thrown like something that I just don't know. And then I grab like my report sheet, which I use like a specific sheet that someone made that used to work on the unit, and they have a bunch of different ones, but basically it has like columns for each patient. And then it has like a space for their history, their vital signs, like how often you do their vital signs, if they have any like blood sugars to be taken. Then it goes through systems like neuro, cardiac, respiratory, like GI,
This is also foreign to me. Like if my mom didn't have the brain bleed last year, I would have no idea.
Yeah,
like,
I guess you guys like
vitals, kind of funny, but like I didn't really know what that was.
No, I mean, how would you though?
Like, and I've never, like, we don't really, we haven't had people in our family that had, like, a lot of health issues. So, like, I think I heard vitals one or two times, like, before that. Yeah. It's so funny.
It's crazy how, like, something becomes so, like, normal for me, but it could be so foreign to someone else and vice versa. Like, you'll say things and I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying. Like, but yeah, it basically just, like, has, like, a whole, like, space for your patients and kind of what's going on with them. Yeah. So I'll try before my shift starts, I'll try and write like how often I do their vital signs. I'll try and write their history if they have any allergies. Then I'll put like what team they're on, like if they're plastics, thoracic, urology, things like that, just to kind of know who I'd page, like just like knowing about the patient, why they're there. I'm on a surgical unit, so I write down like their procedure or if they're going to surgery or kind of what the plan is.
So do you have patients that come in before surgery or do they get admitted somewhere else?
So they come in, we have a bunch that come in before, And then we'll sometimes get those same people after they go to surgery, but sometimes we won't, kind of depending on the surgery.
Like, what types of surgeries are you guys?
So we get like lots of, we were originally like a thoracic and urology unit. So we would get like lung cancer resection surgeries, different sort of lung surgeries, usually like wedge resections, which is just like taking off like a part of a lobe of the lung because of like lung cancer. And then we're just like any sort of tumors on the lungs. That's like our main thoracic population. And then we get like urology, which are a lot of like prostate cancer patients where they're getting their prostate taken out. It's called an RRP. It's like, I honestly I forget I think it's retro. Oh gosh, guys, don't judge me.
RRP. That's what it is.
We constantly call it RRP. I know what it is, but it's basically when they remove the prostate, and they do it like non-invasively. Like they're able to do it like kind of laparoscopically, I guess, where they go in. I know. I'm like, I don't. It's so hard to explain.
No, keep going.
And then, so that's like removal of the prostate, or maybe sometimes it'll be like removal of the bladder or partial like kidney removals. That's like a lot of urology. Those were like the main two that they used to get. But now we're getting like a lot of other patients too. We get plastics patients, which I love.
What is that?
It's basically like the plastic surgery team, so it'll be,
so like, what do they do?
It's not like what you're thinking, probably.
Like,
yeah, because so not like elective surgeries, like all of that, but it'd be more, well, I guess some of them could be elective, but more like after someone has breast cancer and they have like a double mastectomy, them like getting like flaps done to sort of be like their breasts, like things like that. So I love like the plastics patients because they just like, the surgery intrigues me a lot, because we do like flap checks. So if they get like a flap done, you have to do like first you start with like every hour flap checks, which we say like Q1 or Q2, which means every hour, every 2 hours or whatever. So we'll do like every hour flap checks for the first 24 hours, and then every 2 hours, and then every 4 hours, and things like that. Which we use like a Doppler, so it's almost like how you would hear like the heartbeat of a baby on an ultrasound, but you do it to find like the blood like flowing basically to the flap to make sure that the flap's working. And then we get lots of trauma patients now too, like gunshot wounds, motor vehicle collisions, any sort of like trauma. We'll get some of those.
Do you get scared ever, like seeing some? I can't deal with that, so like
I feel like it's like, I definitely do. It's tough like to see that sort of thing, and I don't know, it's
or just like any sort of like open wound or like stitches. I can't do that. You're probably like, oh yeah, it's so easy.
No, I mean, some of them are like, it's hard. It's hard to kind of like, I mean, I feel like, I wouldn't like have gone to nursing school if like things like that made me like too queasy or anything. But also like there are things that get to me. Like I'm usually fine though. Like I feel like wounds are like my weakness a little bit. Like poop, pee, whatever. I can deal. But sometimes if someone has like a pretty like deep stage 4 wound where you can almost like see the bone and things like that.
No, thank you.
Sorry guys, I know people don't like hearing that. Some people. Like I had a patient that had like some stage 4 wounds the other day, and I had to do the dressing changes because they were every 2 times a day, BID, which just means twice a day in healthcare. And we like had to pack the wounds. So you literally are like removing all of the Curlex, which is this like gauze, and then you're packing it with like wound cleanser and like gauze and everything.
Ew. Oh my gosh.
So, sorry, I'm getting it too in detail. But It's crazy. But those are like the main patients we get. And then, you know, because we're a surgical unit, we're kind of getting patients in and out a lot of the times. Like, you're trying to get them walking, up and moving after surgery, eating, advancing them to a regular diet, and then hopefully getting them out of there. But some people end up being there for like over a month, and then some people could be there for one night. Like, it just depends. Yeah, but that's basically like in the morning what I do. And then I'll at 7 we like do huddle, which like is PM? 7 a.m.
Okay. So I'm like, what time is that?
So in the beginning of the shift, you go into the report room, everybody that's there for that next shift, and you sit at a table, and then the charge nurse from the shift before, so like if I'm working during the day, night shift charge will come in, kind of go over how many patients we have right now, how many IMC beds, which are the intermediate care. So they are like a little higher level of care. We can have around 3 IMC patients at a time on the unit. And then they go over like, you know, if we have a COVID patient, just like things about the unit, any supplies that aren't working, like just like your general overview before your day starts. And then you're basically just there for 12 hours, caring for patients. Let's see. I don't know. I could definitely really break it down, but I don't know if it'll be that interesting. But basically, like a general gist of the day is that, like you have, you know, vitals are every 4 hours for most patients. So 8, 12, and 4. 8, 12, and 4 p.m. And then I's and O's, intake and output. So you're charting any like urine, bowel movements.
Okay.
If they have chest tubes, like how much is in the chest tube container, just any fluid that's going in and out, you want to be charting every 4 hours, because it lets the providers know like basically like if they're getting enough in, if they're getting enough out, like if they have a catheter in and they're not having any urine, like that's a problem. So just things like that. And then you do for regular floor patients, most of these patients you'll do an assessment once a shift. But if they're IMC and they're a little higher level of care than the regular patients, you do an assessment every 4 hours. And basically that entails just like a head to toe assessment, which we learn in like nursing school. But the thing is, like, in nursing school, you learn a detailed head to toe, but for a patient that I have that is a lung cancer patient, like a thoracic patient, I'm not going to look at their pupils and make sure that they look okay. So you're kind of, what's the word?
Like, it's like targeting it.
Yeah, it's called a focused assessment. Okay. So like you do your assessment and you always listen to lungs, heart, bowel sounds, all of that. You always want to do like pulses and things like that.
This stuff is so foreign to me.
But yeah, like you don't need to like go crazy extra if it's something that doesn't pertain to them at all. You know, you always want to ask their name, date of birth, make sure they know where they are, stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. I know that one. That's called orienting.
Yeah. Orientation. Yeah. So like alert. You're seeing if they're alert and oriented.
My mom was not for a whole while. It was so funny. She would think she was in Maryland because I was I would be in the room and the nurse would be like, okay, like, where are you? And she's like, Maryland. And the nurse is like, no, you're not. She was not a nice nurse. See,
that's not what you're supposed to do.
Excuse me. Like, I think she thinks she's in Maryland because I'm here. Like, that's why she thinks she's there. Like, she's not totally crazy. And the nurse would, like, didn't want to acknowledge me. And then they had, like, a student watching, like, shadowing her. And she was like, wait, so why is it okay? And then our nurse literally said what I said. I was like, you're so rude.
That's so annoying.
It was so interesting, like, hearing. She also once thought she was in Canada. And then they would be like, no, you're in New Jersey. You're at this hospital. Like, here you are. Yeah. And then they would have her, like, repeat it so she would know. But I think she was just, you know.
I mean, that's. Yeah. Also, like even sometimes, like, I'll be like, I don't even know what today's date is. Like, I'll ask them.
Do you get to wear your watch?
Yeah. Okay, so, like, good. That, you know. But, like, you know, if someone, like how your mom was, like, saying somewhere else, like, you're not supposed to be, like, rude. You're supposed to be, like reorient them. Be like, you're actually here and you're here
Yeah.
for this reason. And then, yeah, you kind of just try and like remind them.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
Oh my gosh. Also, she once thought it was 2003, like when
Oh
my
my
brother was
gosh.
born.
Oh, wow.
It was hysterical. Like, okay, not hysterical because like she was all kind of whacked out, but like
Yeah.
being able to look back now, we're like, oh my God, Mom, like, you thought you were having a baby. What was going on through your head?
That, I mean, yeah,
It's so funny.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. But have you ever had patients that are just like,
yeah.
and is it usually when they come back from surgery, or is it like even after time they're still a little confused?
You know, I feel like most of the confused ones that I see have like dementia and things.
Oh,
like,
okay,
so they're
yeah.
kind of like, that's their baseline kind
Yeah.
of. It's just normal for them. One time I had this patient like tell me his like a completely wrong birthday, and I was like, and he was like with it, and I was like,
Yeah.
and he was like, no, I was just testing to see if you were paying attention. And I was like,
gosh,
I'm
that's
paying attention. Like, this is my job.
Yeah, like-
I was like, of course I'm paying attention. But he was, you know, just like a jokester. But yeah.
I think that's so funny. I feel like some patients like could really throw you off.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like, it's scary if you notice a change, like if they
Yeah.
were alert before and now they're not.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and then besides like assessment, vitals, stuff like that, basically just if you get admissions, we get a lot of admissions, discharges because it's surgery, and then medication administration is just like a main thing, like just passing meds. Your main med pass is in the morning, 8, 9, 10 o'clock meds. Like I try be up and moving, as in like doing all my assessments and morning med pass on all my patients by like 7:45 in the morning, because if I'm still sitting like going over all the charts and looking them up and researching them, then I'm gonna like, you know, fall behind, because you kind of like with nursing, anything can happen. So like older nurses have taught me like you just have to always be ahead.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to go down with one of your patients, and then you don't want to like be all behind on all your other 3. Like, so you always kind of just have to be like on it and ahead of like all of the things you're trying to get done. And then besides that, it's just like all day kind of keeping with that schedule. In the morning, I'll write down like what time certain meds are due, and everything. And then
I feel like you have to be so organized.
yeah, like in the morning between 7, like, oh yeah, I didn't even say like in the morning you get report from the previous nurse on your patient. So you're always doing a handoff to hear what happened in that last shift, and they kind of tell you what's going on with the patient. I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place, kind of how nursing is, honestly. But like you get report in the morning, do everything I just said, and then around 8:45 in the morning we do interdisciplinary rounds. So you go into this like same room we do huddle in the morning, and the doctors are there, and then like PT, OT, case management, other kind of fields are there, and then you kind of go through your patients and discuss like what's going on. So it's really helpful because like if you have a question, you can literally just ask the doctor right there.
Yeah.
Or if you need them to put in an order, you can just tell them like right there, then and there. And they can kind of just give you updates on the patients. And, you know, a big part of surgery though is like getting patients up and walking and getting them like out of there as soon as they can be, and like getting them just like as healthy as they can be to like leave. Just because with surgery, you don't have to be, I mean, certain patients, again, will be there for a long time, but with a lot of them, we want to get them, like, in and out.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to be there, you know?
Yeah, and who wants to be staying in the hospital?
Yeah.
What's the doctor-nurse dynamic?
So that's a good question. It's interesting. I feel like in nursing school, we were always taught, like, you know, like we're taught everything too, because doctors can make mistakes and so can nurses, but like you can sometimes catch something that a doctor doesn't, because you're with that patient all day.
Yeah.
Like you're with them and you know them more, like, or but it's interesting because I feel like most of the doctors that I work with are super great. Like, because we're at our hospital, or at least, you know, this is very specific to my unit. All units are so different.
Yeah.
If you ask the next unit in my hospital, it could be like very different dynamic. But a lot of the doctors on my unit actually have offices like physically on that unit.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I don't even have to like page. I can just knock on their door.
That's so nice.
Which is so nice. Like a lot of hospitals don't have that. Obviously during night shift it's a little different. You have like the night team, and they're not usually like the main team. Like it's the day team that usually is.
But hopefully like there's not much that needs to be asked to a doctor at night. But
yeah, it's just like it's pretty good. Like they listen to the nurses a lot, at least the ones that I am
also
with,
you guys are the ones with the patients all day, all night.
Right.
Like they're only there for check-ins.
Right. So like
once their job is over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I feel very heard by most. Like I don't think I've had so far a problem with a doctor other than like one. This like one doctor like a few weeks ago came in the room, and my patient was like super just like delirious. She was kind of having like just confusion, and like, but this was kind of her baseline. It was like an older woman who was kind of in the early stages of dementia. She was kind of like confused and just kept stating like, oh, is it not recording?
No, it isn't.
Oh,
just
okay.
want to keep going.
But basically like there was a lot going on with this patient, and I had this patient for days in a row. So I already knew what was going on. I was calling the daughter, and the daughter was calling me for updates. I knew the family. I knew exactly what was going on with this patient. And she had been confused and acting like anxious for days. This is just how she's been. And the doctor comes in and he's like, has she been like this? Like acting all like just like urgent. And like I was like, yes, like this is like how she is. Like she isn't like letting me give her any of her meds. Like I can't force a patient to take meds. That's not ethical. Like so I'm like, she didn't take like these meds, whatever. And he's like, oh well, did she get like what she needs though? And I'm like, yeah, like I gave her like the antibiotics through the IV and things that are actually necessary. Like she just didn't take like her Tylenol and things that, you know, aren't necessary. And I said the only oral med she might have might have helped with her just like being anxious and just being super down was, I think it was her Wellbutrin, which is like an antidepressant. And he was like, well, what's that for? And I was like, I thought he was asking me what it's for, like, because that's what he said. And I was like, oh, like it's an antidepressant. And I start saying it, and he goes, ugh, like, I know what it's for. I mean, like, what's it for exactly in her? And I'm like, because some meds can be specified for like something specific. But I'm like, why? Like, first of all, like, you can see what meds I gave on the medication administration record. You can look. Also, you know, like, what did you know too? Like, and I didn't even know exactly why she's on that. Like, it's just like, he gave me such attitude, and then he started like cursing in the room, not at me, but he was like annoyed, I guess, with the situation. And he was like, this is fucking crit. Like, he was just like in the room. And I'm like,
hold it together.
Yeah.
Like, you're the doctor.
I was like so confused, and I had never worked with this doctor before because it was a team that we usually don't get on our unit. It was a vascular patient. So it was the vascular team. But I was like, dude, like,
did you
chill.
like, ask any of the other nurses? Like, have they experienced it with him?
I brought it up to another nurse, but I didn't even know this doctor's name, honestly. And like, she, like, you know, we don't get those vascular patients a lot, so I don't think anyone even like knew him. But I was like taken aback because he was just very like obviously like he was just like,
and you're
giving
like,
me
oh,
two.
sorry.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
But usually they're really good. Like, I love our thoracic team. They're so helpful. I had an experience the other day. I don't think I told you about this, but my patient, so we have like patient care technicians. They help with like vitals.
Yeah.
You know, like eyes and nose, like just bathing, things that are like care like that, bathroom stuff like that. And I had this one tech calls me. Well, first I get a page and it says like RN presence requested, which that's what it says a lot when like they call you, but they don't tell you specifically what they need. I'm like about to go in the room. I'm grabbing her meds for like 10 o'clock. It's like 9:30 in the morning. And the tech calls me and she's like, Lauren, come in the room right now. She can't breathe. I'm like, so I run in the room. Her oxygen is like,
wait, do you actually like run?
I
like,
ran.
You have to run, right?
I ran because it sounded like, I mean, it was an emergency. Like, so I go, I thought it was going to turn into a whole emergency, and it kind of did. So like, it was crazy. Like, this was literally like the other day, and I run into the room. Her oxygen saturation, mind you, normal is like 90 to 100. On us, it would be like 95 to 100.
Yeah.
Is like 90 is still good, but if it gets in the 80s, you don't want that. Hers was in the 70s. It was 70. It was like 76, 75. She's literally like physically like breathing with her whole body.
Yeah.
Like, she can't breathe. I pump up her oxygen like really high, like the oxygen that's flowing into her. She has like oxygen in. Yeah, the nasal like cannula. But that only like gives so much. Like, you kind of have to use like a better form of oxygen like therapy that is better, but that doesn't help. I run and I grab, so Charge, I couldn't find Charge at that moment, but one of the really experienced nurses, like one of our senior nurses, I see her, I'm like, can you come in this room with me like right now? And I go grab, so first, actually before I grabbed her, this is why them having an office on the unit comes in handy, because when it's an emergency, it's so helpful rather than taking out your phone or going on the computer, sending a page, whatever.
Yeah.
It's faster. So I ran to the thoracic office first. I knock, I'm like, you have to come see blah, blah, blah patient. And I explained what was happening. They ran in the room. Then I found like an experienced nurse, just because you want other people in the room to help you. And then I grabbed a non-rebreather mask, which is another way you can give oxygen, but it's a higher like concentration of oxygen. You just are getting more at a faster rate. Turned it all the way up, the highest it could go, like 12 liters per minute, which like usually, like she wasn't even, I think she was maybe on like 2 liters, and then I put her all the way up to 12. Finally, it was going up, but she was having like all of these like secretions that were coming up, and basically I'm standing in the room with like 10 people, the tech that called me, the other nurses, the providers, and the doctors are like talking through basically the situation, what could have caused this, all of this stuff. We're like standing in the room, helping like her, calming her down. Felt really like felt so bad because the patient was like really scared, obviously. Then the patient's like family member comes in the middle of this.
Oh no.
And we're like trying to explain, like we'll explain all of this, but we're kind of trying to figure out like what's going on. They basically decided like she can't be on our unit, because if someone needs a certain amount of monitoring or oxygen or just basically just monitoring, increased monitoring, like not as much as we would do on like a unit like mine, then you have to upgrade them. Upgrade in healthcare is not a good term.
No.
And downgrade is a good term. So if you downgrade someone, that means that they're going from a higher level of care to lower.
Wait, but I remember for my mom, we hated it when she had to downgrade because she got
like attention. Yeah.
She needed the attention in the moment still, but I mean, she was fine. Like.
But like, so like so we had to upgrade my patient to the ICU. And that was like the first time I had done it. Like it was just certain things you don't experience when you're still in orientation. It just happens that way. Like, so basically we had to grab like a monitor, like for transportation, to make sure she's being monitored continuously while we're bringing her to the ICU. Then the ICU nurse called me, or maybe I called her, I don't remember. I had to give a report on the patient. Then they told me what room the patient was going to, this whole thing. basically I had to bring her in her bed with like other people. The doctors go with you when you upgrade them to the ICU. Brought her to the ICU, and yeah, so it was like crazy, like because
That's crazy.
she was fine 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
Like I had been in the room.
And then it just happened.
Yeah. And same thing. The doctor said the same thing. She was like, I was just in here 15 minutes ago and she was fine. Her oxygen was like 99. Like she was fine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's like scary.
So they think it was like a mucus plug. Sometimes that can happen. Or because she had a lot of like secretions. Or there's these things called a PE, a pulmonary embolism. It's like a clot in your lung. They're called the silent killer. Because
that's so scary.
Yeah, because usually like people that pass away like from a PE, like they just, there's no like signs, like it just like happens. But I never really found out what caused that episode, because then she was gone and she was in the ICU. But yeah, so like some days, like every day is different. So like a day in the life, it's like you never kind of know what to expect. But yeah, that was just kind of one of those crazier days.
Yeah.
And then basically charting is like the last thing. You have to make sure everything is charted, your assessment. Sometimes you don't get to chart until really late. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist. You know, making sure you chart on all your patients, which just means like you chart the assessment, everything that you did. And then, yeah, I mean, after that, I feel like nursing, like the 12-hour shifts are kind of like you don't do anything else but the shift pretty much. Yeah. Like sometimes I'll work out if I'm feeling like up to it, but usually I'll just go home after I give report to night shift or day shift if I'm working night. And then I'll go home. I usually eat like first, because if I don't, then I'm gonna like go to bed right after I eat, and that just like isn't good. Yeah. So I'll eat quickly like in my kitchen. I won't go anywhere else in my scrubs. We throw our like nursing shoes like in the front, like we don't walk in the apartment with the nursing shoes. And then shower and go to bed. Like I try and like sometimes watch like a little show or go to the gym for like 30 minutes if that. And the gym
is right across from your apartment, which is so nice.
But usually it's just going home, and if I'm not back the next day at work, I will have like a whole night and like stay up late if I am awake enough. Yeah. But usually if like I work again the next day, I'll try and go to bed as soon as possible just to feel rested for that next shift. But yeah, nursing.
I feel like 3 days straight of nursing is probably exhausting.
It is like, and I feel like usually people are like 3 days. That's not even a lot, because it's like usually people are 5 days. But when it's the 12 hours and like by the time you get home, you're going to bed. It's
and
like,
then you're going back to work. Like there's
it's crazy, and it is nice because then you'll have straight days off. Yeah. But then when you have the stretch of 3, it's a lot.
Also, like if you're doing 3 nights and then your next like round of shifts are 3 days, like that whole first day is just getting you back on track.
Exactly. And like, yeah, night shift is a whole other thing. Like it's just like the schedule is crazy, and like having to adjust and like trying to switch your schedule to nights for your first shift, but then trying to switch back for your last shift. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
But I need to hear about your day in the life, because I could talk for years about nursing.
I feel like nursing is so much more interesting than accounting. And this is when accounting, like, I like what I do. Like, I think tax accounting is interesting. I can't imagine doing auditing. Like, I can't be an auditor. I don't know what that entails, and I just know I wouldn't like it.
What's an auditor?
They're the like, do I even know this? No, they're the people that like check the tax returns. They check the numbers. They make sure everything is correct.
Okay. Interesting.
That's what, like, the simplest way I think I could say it. But
I'm so like intrigued, because I feel like I don't know what you do at all. Like I do, but I don't. Like,
I don't even know like what I could how I could explain it. Okay, so I guess like the most ideal day in the life. Is like I always wake up with the sun. So I wake up around 6, or a little bit later.
Okay.
But it's always like within 6 a.m. time.
Have you always been like that? You just wake up with the sun naturally?
I think so. Also,
Okay.
like when I was younger, my mom would wake us up so early. Like if it was the weekend, like we never were really allowed to sleep in.
Okay.
Unless I'm like in sleep debt. Then I'll sleep later. But I always set my alarm for the latest time possible that I need to be up for work, just in case I am tired. Because like,
Yeah.
I'd rather get my workout in the morning.
Yeah.
But like if I can't, like I need my sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know, out of nowhere I feel like I need it recently. But if I'm not tired, like I'll wake up and I'll work out, and then I come home, like not home, I come downstairs,
Yeah.
and then I shower so that my hair can dry while I'm eating breakfast, and then I make a smoothie. I either make a smoothie or breakfast, although I haven't been doing that this week.
What have you been doing?
Not eating.
Not
like
eating
I don't.
breakfast?
It's so. At home, my dad makes my breakfast. Like I've never really been a breakfast
Oh.
person because I used to never like eggs.
Oh, I
So,
used
like-
to not like eggs too.
Yeah, like I would not eat them. And
Yeah.
so I would either do pork roll or pancakes. And my dad would make us breakfast every single morning. Like in high school, he would wake us up and be like, okay, what do you each of you want? And we each got our own breakfast, like whatever we wanted.
Wait, that's so nice.
So like my brothers would do eggs and I would do pancakes or something.
Yeah.
And, like one of us would do pork roll, the other one would do eggs, and the other
Pork
one would do
roll's the
pancakes.
best.
I know. You say pork roll.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. No Taylor ham
Yeah.
here.
And go fight in the comments.
Yeah. Let us know. Maybe we'll do a
Seriously.
poll. Pork
Yeah.
roll or Taylor ham.
Seriously. So like I don't know, it's tough for me to make breakfast, but I feel like next week is my week to like figure it out and get my life together.
Good. Why next week? Just
I went on like a whole rampage last night of all my goals, and I was like, if I can't even eat right, then what am I doing?
yeah.
Like I can't get to the next step if I can't put
No.
like good food in my body, because I eat so well at home, and then I come here and I don't know why.
And you have to take care of yourself to be able to just do life.
And like to feel good.
Yeah. Like,
But I don't know. So I do that. It's easy for me to make my smoothie, and that's always a good one. And then I start getting ready. I always pick out my outfit. My hack to being like a corporate girly is I have the Abercrombie like slacks. They're not slacks, like tailored pant they're called. And I just have like 5 or 6 pairs, and they feel like pajama pants, and they're just in all different colors.
take notes, guys.
Yeah, I know. Like,
See, sometimes I wish I could like wear just like an outfit to work.
And so, but that's my problem. Like I only wear that now.
Okay.
So I think in the summer I'll get back into my dresses and everything. Also kind of like funny story. The first week that I started work, I had a broken toe. And so I did not want to put on heels.
Yeah.
Well, actually my foot didn't fit into it. Like it was so swollen.
Oh my God.
And so I was like gonna go to work in heels and everything. Cause like, I feel like I usually wear heels. Like,
yeah.
I guess I'm like a heel or a sneaker girly. I'm like a good mix, but I was like so excited to wear them, and I had so many because right before the pandemic, my mom went on a huge shopping spree with me.
Oh,
and, like,
really?
we got so many clothes, but anyway, I became a white leather sneaker girl at work, and that's all I wear. Though the pants and like a bodysuit or blouse and like some sort of jacket or blazer.
Cute.
So like my outfits are easy to pick.
So you pick them out the night before, or
It depends.
Yeah.
I try to pick them out the night before
yeah.
just so that I'm like ready. Oh, but I do always set out my workout clothes the night before.
Okay.
Because
Good.
and it's easy. Like I do either like Nike Pros and sweatpants or like leggings, and then just sports bra, t-shirt. Like
Yeah.
my workout. Okay, I always say this, like I'm not the matching set girl right now.
No.
Like I look more like a boy when I work out,
Yeah.
especially when I hit legs. It's so funny to me. I don't know why it's like that right now. I don't know what I'm
Right now, so you like have been a matching set girly?
I'm not really.
I used to wear sets all the time.
Yeah.
And now it's more just like leggings and some sort of crop top. Like,
wait, your one shoulder white top is so cute.
thanks.
I love it.
It's literally from Old Navy.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I went to Old Navy recently a couple times just because they have like just good basics.
Yeah.
Like, I got like a black just like t-shirt from there.
Yeah.
But they had some like good like workout tops.
Oh my gosh.
I got complimented on that top at Pilates by someone too.
It's so cute.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Okay, good to know. But yeah, so like I'll set up my workout clothes for sure because that makes it easy to get up. Like I don't want to have to think about doing that.
No,
not in the morning. And then if I don't use it, like if I don't wake up early enough to get the length of the workout that I want, then I'll just have it for later.
Yeah.
And then I get dressed and ready to go to work. And I live only a few blocks from my office building. So we only really go in like Tuesday, Thursdays.
I was going to ask like which days again do you go in?
Yeah.
Like I knew you were there today.
Yeah.
So Tuesdays, Thursdays.
And then, and like you don't have to go. But like I like to go. It's fun to like, see everybody you work with. And it's a lot easier to learn when we're in person, I think. Mm-hmm. And so I walk my little butt to work. Sometimes I like get to see people. I'm like, oh, whose dogs like are being walked, or I don't know. Like sometimes there's construction workers that are always so nice, but whatever. Half the time I'm just like, head down, 4 minutes, let's go. Here we go for another
4-minute walk.
Yeah.
Wow.
For another day in the office. It's also really funny because half the time I'm walking in with these like old men in the elevator. Like this morning, this guy follows me and he's in a full-on suit. And I'm like, oh, good morning. He's like, how are you doing? And then I get off the elevator and he's like, have a great day. And I'm like, you're older than my dad.
That's
like,
so weird.
He's probably like, I don't know, like, what would you think if you were old and there was like a 20-year-old girl?
I know.
Like starting out her career, he's probably like, oh, the days.
I know. He's
like
the good old days.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I guess like when I get to work, I always just open my email, or like if I'm at home.
Okay.
I open my email, check and see what comes in. But my hack is I have Teams and Outlook on my phone because I can't stand if I'm going to step away from my computer and somebody needs to like talk to me.
Yeah.
Like at least I'll be able to respond and get to it later. Otherwise I'll look like I'm not answering.
Yeah. Or
like I'm not at my computer, which I'm not. Like if I do run out to go for a walk or like go to the store or something in the middle of the day, like, oops, sorry I went, but like I had to go.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go at night. I don't know. And so,
so you kind of respond like, hey, I see this, but I'm going to get back to you later.
Yeah. So like,
okay.
Typically it's like, oh, hey, can you get this done? And I'll be like, oh yeah, I can do it this afternoon.
Okay.
Like it's really not urgent usually.
Yeah.
And so I check my email. What else? I basically just start making my list, my to-do list for the day, which like sometimes I'll have stuff from the night before that I know that I have to do in the morning.
Okay.
And then I just like add everything on from there. I really like it when it's not that long and I know like I won't have stuff to do the next day.
That's
from
nice.
the day before, just because like it's nice to go to sleep without having to think about what you have to do.
I feel like that's like I feel like I can't imagine like because my job is so just like when you're there and then it's done.
Yeah.
Like so I feel like it'd be hard for me to have a job now where it's like you could do things just like all the time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like how do you make boundaries and like make sure you have your time off when you do.
Definitely not like when it's not busy season. I log off at 5:30. I'm just like bye. Like I'm offline because like I don't want to be on longer than that. No. My contract says 8:30 to 9 or to 5:30.
Right.
Like, I don't want to stay longer. It is what it is. Unless I have work to do. If I have work to do, I'll stay. But then so I make my list and then essentially like I don't really know how to explain what we do in like basic terms.
I know.
But a lot of like being a tax associate is you're getting work from the senior associate. So it goes like associate and then A2 for your second year associate and then senior 1, 2, 3, and then you become manager, I think, after your third year.
Okay.
Some people will stay longer. It really depends. And so I get work from like the seniors and then sometimes the managers. And right now it's like we're preparing the extensions for the tax returns.
Okay.
So like there's typically like a 6-month extension. And then we don't have to file the return until September or October.
Okay.
So recently I've been doing a lot of partnership extensions and like creating the extension calcs and like figuring out all the numbers that go into it. We do these things called provision packages, which kind of just like I don't know how, like, it's so funny.
Like, I know.
Like, I don't know how to explain this.
It's interesting because you don't always try and explain your job to people in like, regular
I can
terms.
do it and I can explain it to another, like, to an intern to be like, hey, can you do this for me?
Yeah.
But, it's kind of funny.
Someone who, like, well, me and, like, viewers who don't know anything
about
like,
accounting, yeah. So provision packages basically like forecast what the taxes due will be based off of taxable income, adjustments, things like that.
Okay.
And then we have that for the client to like decide what they want to do in terms of like payments for the year and things like that. So like each quarter the client is supposed to pay X amount of money so that their taxes due at the end of the year aren't like $2 million for some people, you know what I mean? And so that's like one of the things we do right now. There's another thing called M packages, which I really hate those. I don't know why. I think it's because when I first learned them, I was so confused what they even were. But it basically just takes all of the M adjustments. So like in simple, like things that you might, or like anybody might understand, or like meals and entertainment. Like you can deduct and expense the meals and entertainment from the company, or like gifts to employees.
Okay.
And then those become adjustments on your return, or like vacation or accrued bonuses, things like that. The M packages go into the tax return or like into the tax software that we use.
Okay.
And then what else? Like what are other things that I'm doing right now? I started prepping an apportionment tool. So like each state has a certain amount of apportionment that apportions like sales, property, payroll, things like that.
Okay.
So like if we were to create a company and we needed to pay somebody in New Jersey for something, like then New Jersey would get X amount of like the payroll apportionment number.
Okay.
So like it basically takes the total number of payroll. So like say it was like 100K in New Jersey and then 500K for us in Maryland and then 200K for somebody in Louisiana or something like that, whatever. It would just take like the 100K in New Jersey divided by the total amount, which comes up with a percentage. And then same for like our Maryland one and our Louisiana one.
Okay.
And then that goes on to like the state tax returns.
Okay.
I don't know if any of this makes sense, but like
I'm trying to understand, but honestly, like it's hard because when you like don't like it's not like
I feel like you need to see it to understand it.
And I feel like if like other business majors who maybe aren't in accounting, like they could probably understand it better, but like me having no business background,
exactly, because at least as a business major you had to take accounting. I think you had to take financial and managerial,
but it's really interesting, so I'm trying to take it all in.
It's so different. I don't know,
it is.
So like I feel like those are kind of the tasks that I've been getting recently, and then like when it comes time for like when we're actually filing, we're creating like the tax returns and like getting them out to the clients to sign.
Okay.
But like today I got to review a gift tax return for one of our individual clients. And that was kind of interesting just to like, they were giving a gift of a house. Oh. So it was from like the parents to the daughter.
Okay.
And it wasn't like, oh, we're buying you a house. It was giving the gift of the house that they used to live in. Okay. So we had to like go through the appraisal letter and like I reviewed all the work that was done by one of our other teams. But it was interesting to see because it was the first time I saw a gift tax return.
Yeah. Cool.
and then you get to learn a lot. Like I like working on individuals because you learn a lot about like things that I may need to know for myself.
Okay.
And then working on like partnerships and corps is also kind of interesting because I hope to have my own business one day.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna ask you. So like, in your career, like, where do you want to go, like, from here? Like, I was about to ask, like, what are your kind of goals, and also like, yeah, like, do you want to have your own business one day?
Okay, so it's so tough. I've always wanted, I guess if we were to stick in accounting, like I have a few different avenues that I would go. If I were to stick in accounting, I would want to, like, I think social media interests me a lot.
Yeah.
And so I originally, like, to get me excited about accounting, I was like, oh, like I would learn this and then open up my own firm, which I feel like everybody says they would open their own firm. But I would want to specialize in like individual taxes, like individual income taxes, and then their like small businesses or like whatever, like sole proprietorships, and then like focus on people in entertainment.
Cool.
Like whether that's like people in sports or social media or like actresses, actors, models, whatever it may be. I find that very interesting. And like those are like clients that like that's the industry I want to be in anyway.
Right.
And then if not, like I always say, I'll stick with the company I'm with for as long as I'm in corporate America and at the location I'm at, because nothing beats the culture of the Baltimore office at the company I'm at.
So where are the other offices? Like New York City and
everywhere.
LA.
And like always thought, I'm like, where do I want to go? Like I can pick from so many.
Yeah.
Even like overseas. I want to go so badly. But I just know I don't think I'm going to go for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and like, I've heard that it's the tax team that has the better culture too. Like people in audit are always like, oh my God, you tax people are always doing such fun things.
Aww.
And I'm like, yeah, that's because we show up and like we want to have a good time. Like work is work, but we might as well make it a good time.
Right.
Even like to the smallest things, like we have managers bringing in snacks on Tuesdays, and they also get us breakfast on Tuesdays.
God.
So like today we had buffalo chicken dip. Liz made it. It was awesome. Yeah. And then they did Chick-fil-A breakfast this morning.
Oh my God.
And then Thursday they'll do either catering or like send us something to like if we want to order food.
See, it's the little things.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy what you're doing.
Exactly.
Otherwise it's...
And then like we get to take a break midday and like hang out with each other and talk and bond and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like, okay. And then if I weren't to do accounting, I recently kind of thought, I was like, oh, if I had to redo school, like I would go into film.
Okay.
And I would do film, but for like sports and like music.
That's really cool.
Like I just love editing so much. So, like when it comes down to the stuff I edit on my own just for fun.
Yeah.
Like when I take clips, like I love editing it and like making little videos or whatever. Like more montage like things.
Yeah, you're like the editing brain. No, Evan went to school for film.
Yeah.
You know, you could always
get into it.
You could always get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only 22.
I know. Maybe one day.
But yeah, because I was going to ask you, like, how did you get even into this job? And like, how did you know you wanted to try accounting? Like,
oh, my mom was basically just like, oh, if you're an accountant, you'll always have a job. You'll make decent money. Like, that was one of the things. And then I did it and I was just like, okay, yeah, like I kind of like it.
You could do it. Yeah.
Like I like tax. And I think I like tax because like the reason why I was like, yeah, I'll do accounting was because when I was learning tax accounting, I was more about the law.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, well, maybe I would like being a lawyer, but I'm like, I'm not going to school.
Yeah.
I hate school. But yeah, I think that's why. And I'm just going to stick with it. Like tax is something so good to know.
Yeah.
In anything.
In life,
like,
I mean.
In business, like whatever it is. But, and I'm learning a lot right now, which is why I like it. But I don't know how much longer I'll last.
Yeah.
Like, just sitting behind the computer and having the busy seasons. I also like once I have a family, I don't want to have to deal with the long hours.
Busy season. Yeah. That's hard.
I just like would rather be with my family as much as I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. it is what it is for now. It's one of those things that like,
yeah,
I'm so grateful to have the job and to be able to have this opportunity. But there's bigger things that I want to do personally. Like, I've always said I wanted to make the money in order to have my own nonprofit for people with special needs. Okay. So like that's my like huge goal in life.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my friend Kateri. I was like, okay, like I was texting her and I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to have a full on like call later. And this was last night, and like I debriefed all of my goals, and I was just like, what am I doing? She's like, you just need to be a philanthropist. Like, you need a whole fund for yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to make this happen.
I can see that. Yeah. And you will.
Oh, yeah.
You're very motivated.
I am. And I just, like, need to get it done.
Yeah, you'll make it happen.
Yeah. But the problem is that there's, like, a barrier to entry from, like, what I see. Because I need enough money.
Right.
Like, I will never put myself in jeopardy. Like, I need to pay my bills, and I need to have my own life and like my own fun. Like I need to be able to eat, things like that. Like I'm never gonna stop the things that I like. Yeah. Like I want to get my hair cut. I want to get my eyelash lift and tint. Like I want to get my like things like that. Like that will never be cut. Yeah. So like anything extra is just for me working really hard to get to it. So like I was going through all the things that I want to do, and I was getting so excited. And I woke up this morning thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, how do I get out of this whole accounting thing and move to that? Because like I want to wake up and be so excited to do what I'm doing every day. But I don't know. I think that it's one of those things that this is such a good thing to learn and
start and everything. Yeah. Wait, that's so good. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know last night you were having all these like.
Oh my God. I know. I was like having a whole epiphany.
Yeah. No, it's.
But yeah. And then let's see. What else do we do? Okay. So like that's my morning at work. I start working on anything. Sometimes there's a lot of back and forth between me and the seniors. Okay. Like depending on whose like engagement I'm on, typically if there's really good instructions, I don't really need to ask any questions. Okay. But sometimes there's just things that the seniors are on client calls that I'm not on. So like I wouldn't have the information that I need. So sometimes there's things that even the manager wouldn't have the information they need, and like even the partner wouldn't have it, and then they have to go to the client. So in those moments I'm like, okay, good, I'm not dumb. Like it's just because we didn't have it. And then other times it's like things that I just wouldn't have known. Okay. Or if it's a more complex client with like, I don't know, all of the special projects like international tax or whatever it may be. Like there's some things that I just wouldn't know and I have to learn. Yeah. But like if there's really good instructions from the senior, I just get my work done and I'm able to flow through it pretty quickly, and then I return the information and then they'll give me comments back if I need to change anything, and then I change that, and then like they review again and they send it to the manager to review. Okay. And then typically the manager will have review comments as well. But it's like you get X amount of tasks throughout the day. Yeah. And then you just keep compiling the list and keep going through everything.
Wow.
But then, so cool. Like we stop and break for lunch. Sometimes I like to come home and eat just to like get outside. Like,
I mean, I need to remove
myself from the office in order to like get back into it. Like I need a little refresh. I want to step outside like to get some fresh air and then like come back.
Yeah, you need that.
And then but sometimes like if I really want the food that they have, or like if I don't feel like walking back, or if it's cold or rainy, like I'll just stay and hang out and I'll eat whatever they bring, which is always really good.
It's good.
But yeah. And then like in the afternoon, it's more of the same. Sometimes we have meetings. Like I'm pretty grateful that accounting is not one of those jobs that how you have meetings all day. All the time. Okay. And then you have no time to get your work done.
That's so crazy.
Like, yeah, I'm happy it's not one of those jobs. But there's some days where I'm like, oh my God, why do I have meetings all day? I have no time to do my work.
Because then how do you do your work?
Right? I know. But I think, and then like I go home or I stay in the office or do whatever.
Yeah, what's your like post-work vibe? Like, what do you do at night?
So right now...
I mean, I know you're working extra hours right now.
I'll typically work until like 6 or 6:37 whenever I get hungry. I'll take a break for food. Like I'll eat dinner. And then I'll typically just like eat while I'm working now, and then finish work. And then like last night I was like, okay, I'm not working after 9. Like I need to go to bed. And I was still getting emails like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And I was like, okay, I can stay up and do it. But I was just like,
no,
I'm gonna stop. Like I don't need to do this. Like I don't, this is not my tax return. Like it's my job, but I was like, I don't need to be up like this late. And it wasn't urgent. It wasn't like you need to have this back to me by tomorrow morning. It was something that I could do in the morning and have it to them late morning. But like I've had nights where like I was up so late doing work.
I feel like that's so hard because you literally just have to have that boundary with yourself. And like I can't even imagine, like my mom has a job like that too, where it's like you literally could work all hours of the day if you had, like, you could. There's that much stuff to do, but it's like you have to be able to cut yourself off so that you have that break, because then it's like crazy.
And then what else? I feel like you can tell I don't get excited about this.
But
true. Like I don't know. It's one of those jobs that you'll really. I don't think anybody I work with are truly like, oh my gosh, I love what I do. We definitely all geek out sometimes, and we like when we talk about taxes or like I don't know, like, oh my gosh, this return or that return or this calculation or like whatever it may be. Like sometimes you'll hear even the managers geeking out, and like it's kind of fun because we're all like, okay, we're kind of nerdy. But like it's very interesting to learn about. I just can't stick with it much longer. I'm forever. Also currently in the phase of just like, what's the next thing? Like sometimes I'm like, oh yes, I love what I'm doing, but I'm in the phase right now, and I think it's because it is busy season, and I'm just like, okay, what's next?
I mean, even me, like I love like being a nurse, and I like just the job and like helping people and talking to my patients all day. But like this isn't where I want to stop. Like I want to go back to school. I want to be a nurse practitioner.
I feel like a lot of nurses want to go back to school.
It's just like I honestly like, I mean, I'm not obsessed with school, but I like school and I like nursing. I just know I can't do bedside forever. Like some of these nurses are still bedside nurses and they're like 60, and I'm like, I couldn't be a bedside nurse forever. Also nursing education, like maybe like clinical instructor, professor, kind of things like that would be interesting. But I see what you mean. Like it's not, there's always somewhere to go. And like, that's fine that you feel that way. You're making a living now, and this is a good place to start, but it's not bad that you're thinking about all your goals and everything. I know.
And I had a conversation with the partner in our office the other day, and she was like, listen, I love having all of you here. Like I love each and every one of you guys all work so hard, but I understand that you guys have goals in life and that you guys may not love tax accounting forever. Like if you told me when I was an intern that I'd become partner, I would tell you you're crazy. And I feel like that's me. So I'm like, oh my God, what if I do become partner and I do stick it out? Like what's going to happen? But yeah, like the partner, she is so nice about it all and like really just wants the best and for us and our happiness, which is so good to hear, because I'm sure there's some people and like that have to deal with partners that are just rude. Like I don't even know how else to explain it. But yeah, I'm so grateful for that. And like our company really likes it when people, I mean, they don't want you to leave, but like they like it if you do want to leave and then you want to come back. If you don't burn any bridges, like they're more than willing to bring you back. I've seen it multiple times.
Wait, that's good.
Have heard about it multiple times because I haven't been there that long. But I think if I were to stay, it's only because I gain more responsibility in my job. It's hard for me to be the person that's just like receiving the work to do. I'd rather be the person that's able to kind of distinguish like what's going on in the engagement at what time, and being able to like maneuver and like delegate like, tasks. Like, I think I'm just such an organized person, and like my brain thinks better that way than it does just receiving things from a million people at once. I can
see that for you. Like
I feel like I'm drowning, and I'd rather be the person that's able to like dictate what's going on when. And like just trying to get ahead on everything and things like that. But I don't know. It is super rewarding, I'd say. Like learning about it. I mean, it's not rewarding in the sense that like, oh, I'm doing so good. Like the corporations we're working with make hundreds of millions of dollars. Like you're a big corporation. I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah, but it's rewarding to be able to like be part of,
and probably rewarding to be able to help people through Vita and things like that.
Like the volunteering definitely has like a way more rewarding aspect of it when it comes down to like feel good, right?
Yeah.
But on the other end, like being on the phone with clients and like the CFOs of these huge companies, I'm like, I'm literally just a little girl. I feel like I'm just a little girl, and like here you are, like the CFO of a huge company.
Yeah.
And I get to like sit on these conversations, and like sometimes like a manager or partner will be like, oh yeah, like that's the correct number, right? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but like that little thing, I'm like, okay, this is very fascinating, getting to be in these conversations with these big corporations. Like,
yeah. And
it's so cool.
Like, that's so cool. I can't imagine.
Like the opportunity is amazing. It's just not like one of those things that it's fun. Like it's hard to find like pure joy out of like sitting and crunching numbers all day, if that makes sense. But I will say like the side of learning taxes and things like that is enjoyable.
Beneficial too.
Beneficial is probably the better word. Yeah.
Would you like recommend people to go into accounting?
Oh,
like, yeah. I think it's Jeff. That's like a very just useful job. Yeah.
And like at Vita too, there's a lot of like the sophomores to seniors that are going into accounting. Right. And I tell them all like go into tax because I'm more biased. But there is a good mix of like audit and tax kids, and it's fun to like get to ask them, like they're asking me questions about things at work. Yeah. And you're like, I can actually answer these now. But like I always tell them like you may hate it when it comes down to busy season, but as long as you have a really good office life and like good culture at your company, like there's nothing you're truly gonna hate. Like you'll realize how much you're learning so fast. Like you'll start to understand things. Even for me, like just being a year in, like I guess a year technically with the internship. But I'm learning so much and like understanding what I'm doing. Like it was the worst getting a task and not knowing what it was. Like I remember like I had to tie out this is like we were doing like the tax specialty audit for one of our clients, and I had to like tie out the numbers to the balance sheet to like make sure everything looked right. And so they have these things called tick marks, and you use specific tick marks to like say if it ties to the balance sheet or if it ties to prior year or if it's immaterial, things like that. I don't know. And I remember the first time I ever received that task, which is the easiest thing to do. I was so confused because I had no idea what it was. I was just like, what even are we doing?
I mean, it's just like being new to that, I guess.
Like I needed the bigger picture to know what it was. Yeah. And so I remember I asked the senior, I was like, you have to explain it one more time. And he did. Still didn't make sense. So I just did my best, and like I guess I did a good job because I didn't get anything back. Unless he was just like, this is terrible.
No, I doubt it.
And then I got that again, like two more, like the same type of task 2 more times. And like I just finished one for a public company.
Oh my gosh.
And I like actually understood what I was doing this time. Like I didn't have to ask for help. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I get it.
That's
and I could
so
explain
nice.
it. Like I could explain what I was doing too.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, like, it's one of those things where once you understand it, it becomes more enjoyable. Yeah. But you definitely have to give yourself the time to learn it, ask the dumb questions, and like just go through the pain of not knowing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, even like with nursing, like I just even still like, I mean, we have a preceptor for like the first like 3 months. But after those 3 months, like I'm still constantly asking questions like to older nurses, more experienced nurses. But I can relate with like having like it feels more enjoyable once you know what you're doing and like how you can explain it. Like I'll get nursing students sometimes because they have clinicals going on right now at a lot of schools near us. So they have students on our unit sometimes, and a nursing student will be assigned to me for like a shift. And I can actually explain everything I'm doing. I can show them where everything is. Like I actually know the unit now. Yeah. And it does make it like 10 times more enjoyable than like when you're first starting and you're just like so confused and you don't know anything. You're
drowning when you first start in a job. And I don't know. I feel like for nursing, you have to go to school to learn what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as like when you're like actually at the job and like doing it. But there is some type of knowledge that you get from like, you can kind of connect the dots.
Physically,
For me, I felt like with accounting, there's a decent amount that you learn in school that just won't be applied to work. Because the tasks that you're getting at work are more like, go in and do this. Versus in school, it's like, here's the journal entries.
Yeah.
Like, here's what taxes are. Here's what an audit is. Here's what managerial accounting is like. And it's just not the same as what you're doing at work. So like, I don't know, do the trainings and learn from your people and like shadow the seniors or like experienced associates and everything. And you'll be able to feel much better about the job. But
wow.
Yeah.
It's so interesting hearing like just a whole different perspective of like a life.
Yeah.
A work life. Someone else.
It is so different.
Yeah.
Also, I was just talking to the person I sit next to today at work, and he was like, he just like looks up and he goes, oh, I really wish I was doing like a more hands-on job. Like it's so much easier to get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
When you're like doing something more hands-on and like.
It's true.
Versus when you're just sitting at the desk and typing.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, you have your whole list of goals and everything. I need to do this.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I just feel like I've been sitting on them for so long that it's time to take action.
We should do an episode on like all our goals for this year or like.
Yes.
Not even just like job.
Yeah. But like personal and everything else. Yeah.
That would be a good topic.
Yeah. We can do that next week.
Yeah. I hope you guys liked this. We just wanted to kind of give you a look into our lives, and for anyone out there that is thinking about either of our fields too, just to kind of give you an insight onto what it's like.
Yeah. I feel like accounting and nursing are, I don't know if accounting's popular, but like they're pretty popular jobs. And like accounting, you can kind of go with like finance or like any other business type of job. It's very similar. Like the work will be a little bit different, but the feel for what the day in the life is like is kind of similar. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's good to hear about, and I wish I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. I think I just kind of threw myself in there and I was just like, okay, here we go. Yeah. Like time to start work, and I was just like going with the flow.
Exactly.
Each day.
Yeah.
And I didn't really look into like accounting influencers or anything. Like I heard about busy season, but I didn't really get to know what it was really like until I did it.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's good to kind of give people like a look into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. I hope you guys liked this episode.
I know. It wasn't so funny this time, but
not funny, but more informative this time. But I think it was a good switch from like our last episode at least.
Yeah, it's good to hear about,
different topics and sort of different things we have going on.
Exactly. But yeah.
Well, leave any suggestions for us if you want to hear about anything specific, but we should cheers again.
Cheers to another episode and
third one in the
going.
Books. Woo!
Oh, that was not a good quote.
Wait, it wasn't. Bye, guys.
Have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.